of little dots on it. It's actually a kind of a strange looking contraption. Quick disclaimer before this video starts, I am in no way affiliated with any of the brands that are featured in this particular video. I have limited experience with all these cables. I'm not telling you to go out and buy them. I was more interested in the creative implementation of the various magnetic designs that are out there in the market. In most cases, you're gonna be a lot better off using the included cable that you've already got with your device that inserts all the way and does not utilize a magnet. So, full disclaimer, proceed with caution if you're gonna pick up one of these magnetic cables. Now, as many of you are aware that have been following the channel for a while, you know I like to travel down the rabbit hole when it comes to certain products, product segments, accessories, accessory segments. Today is the culmination of one particular rabbit hole, the cable, magnetic cable rabbit hole. I was in search of the coolest cable on planet Earth, so I bought a bunch off Amazon, as you would if that's what you're looking for. And I was surprised to find out that there's actually some pretty bizarre, pretty cool cables out there that aren't like anything you've seen before. I think this one is the strangest. 360-degree ball-shaped magnetic cable. That's the cable right there. And then you insert whichever magnetic tip you want onto that particular ball. Now, I did a bit of reading, and that's why I decided to buy a variety of cables. I mean, like, look at this one. There's some very bizarre connectors that are out there. Now, I know what you're saying. You're thinking, hey man, what's wrong with the stock cable that you have? Well, nothing. But obviously there's a market for sort of more eccentric, more interesting cables. And I started to think, if I could get by with one of these cables inside of my car, it could save me from having to tinker with the little port and just slap it onto the magnet if one of these can replace a stock cable, because the reviews are all over the place, all over the map. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this one, which piqued my interest the most, but we will quickly move through all the different variations that I've got in this particular pile. So it is a 2.4 amp max 360-degree ball-shaped magnetic cable, magnetic attraction charging product, non-pollution, non-knot, unique combination of metal and magnetic premium quality cable. They might all be junk. So this one comes with the cable as well as a little cable tie, a Velcro cable tie to organize it, I suppose. A nice braided, strong feeling cable, pretty high quality. And the part that I'm interested in is, of course, here on the end. All these things have bunched up onto the magnet. And yeah, you know what? It's a pretty strong magnetic pull right there. Now, of course, one of the benefits with magnets, well, there are many benefits to magnets. Who doesn't love magnets? The benefit in this case is that you're not putting as much strain on the port. If you do tug away from it, the device and the little piece will come off together. The port on the device will not be messed up as much or damaged. A good example of this is a PlayStation controller. I have many of them at my house, and oftentimes, especially with those kids that, you know, they're kind of in there jamming it in there, you get a little wiggle in the port and then eventually it doesn't work. It's got a couple of little dots on it. It's actually a kind of a strange looking contraption. It spins so it can face any direction without becoming disconnected. It comes with 3 different tips. USB Type-C, that's the one that I'm gonna use. Lightning, this is for your iPhone or Apple product. A micro USB that I would only use at this point for a PlayStation controller. And look, they all stay together because of the magic of magnets, obviously. Okay, that fits in like that. And now let's get the ball piece hooked up. Let's see if this connects well. Bam! Very nicely, magnetically. It's not a crazy amount of force, but there's definitely some force to it. You're gonna have to apply some pressure to get it off, but it's kind of a nice amount. Now you can imagine, you jump in the car, you just slap them together. It's not a lot of thought. You're already on your way, and you're not getting that tug on the port. All right, this is what I'm talking about. So this is very cool. Although what's weird is, this is your reality now. Now you have this connector in there. And that's what I'm gonna compare on all these magnetic cables. How big is the connector? Because that's gonna bug you, it might bug you. Now looking at the device here, it may appear to you that it extends beyond the body. It actually is almost the exact same thickness of the S20 Ultra, but that's a pretty thick phone, so keep that in mind. If you have a thinner phone, it may actually extend beyond the body. And I'm not sure if the convenience for me would outweigh the fact that I gotta stare at this blob sitting at the bottom of the sleek phone. But either way, it looks like it functions. Now let's go ahead and plug this in and make sure that it charges. That's kind of important. All right, so I've got a charge brick here. This is a quick charge, Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0. We'll see if we get any type of fast charge. Okay, I think I heard it. Did it just start charging? Seems that way. Hold up. That's it. And as you can see, it keeps charging. It has not come disconnected no matter which way you tug it. So I think that's a pretty cool cable. Now, like I said, there may be some downsides here. Oh, it looks like it just disconnected there. You know what I mean? If you tug on it, pull it in a weird direction, it may come disconnected. If you can put up with the glob at the bottom, it's one of the coolest connectors that I've seen. It doesn't require any kind of pins to make contact. It's a single connection point. Let's move over to a slightly different scenario. Does this have a name? Just magnetic phone charger. It's a different implementation of the same idea. Now this one is not a ball. It's not a full 360. Type-C, micro USB, and Lightning for Apple devices. And when these go on and connect, what? They're able to swivel like this. So yeah, this one, look, it swivels around. It's not a full 360, but it's still gonna give you some play. It allows the cable to move like this. Some might think that's a bit more solid. I think it's a bit less cool. All right, so that's working as expected. Charging. No change in charging as you swing around here. I can still see it's charging down there. Still charging. Boom. Not charging. Boom. Charging. I think, oh, off. And then charging. So if you pull up, it comes off easily. If you pull straight, it requires more force. Now this one says 55 minutes until full. This one just has less of a cool factor. The magnetic connector here is more narrow. It's definitely more narrow than this S20 Ultra and likely more narrow than your phone, but it does kind of have a weird shape to it. This feels like the most robust cable so far. It's definitely braided. Yeah, so this one, if you look on the inside here, it's the only one, the first one so far that's recessed. It's not gonna move around as much once it's connected. I don't think I like it. It seems loose, a little bit loose in the port. And then once it's on, it's not all that satisfying. What is the style here? That's an interesting connector. So it can spin 360 like this. It doesn't have the same thing that the Sphere can do where it can move on any axis, but this feels like a really solid connection. Maybe the most solid so far. You have a 360-degree connection point, so the pins don't need to necessarily match straight up, but obviously it does jut out this way. So this one is slim up and down, the height of it, but this way, if you don't have a fat phone, it might poke out. It's by far the most solid connection so far. If that's what you're looking for, the breakaway there is the least likely when I tug on it. This one has this cool blue LED. Oh, it goes brighter blue. So it's like a dim. This one's pulling the whole thing out. What is this design? Oh, so this one is similar to the other with the recessed connection point on there. Let's check this out. All right. Okay. See, what I don't like, it's a bit of wobble on it. So that's a nice bright green LED. I have to say, I give it points for having the LED baked in. Any of these models that have the LED baked in, because then with a magnetic connection, you might be a bit nervous. At least you know, okay, I'm charging. But it's weird that the LED stays on. I don't even know if that shows up on camera. It's a tiny little brightness increase to indicate that you're charging. But it's cool. It's cool to see the ingenuity. Yes, this is fringe stuff. Now this one, it says an hour 17 to fill, where some of the other ones on the same power brick had said 50 minutes. If you know of any cooler ones, I will certainly, most definitely order them up and give them a shot. I think I'm gonna put this one in my truck and give it a try over a longer period of time. You have a phone that's over $1,000, you're plugging a weird magnetic charger from God knows where into that phone. But you see, that's my job. You know, I got to test this stuff so you don't have to. There it is. The wide world of magnetic cables that exist on Amazon. Don't do this to your phone. This can't possibly be good for the battery. But it is fun.